At the start of the season, I predicted all of England's top four leagues, and with the season at roughly its halfway point now, it's time to have a look back over those predictions to see what I've predicted well and what I've got hilariously wrong so far. Starting with the Premier League, I put Arsenal top, Man City second, Man United third, and Liverpool fourth. The reason I put the top four in that order is I felt Arne Slot would need some time to adapt to the Premier League, which I was totally wrong about, and I thought this was going to be Erik Ten Hag's breakout season with United. But how wrong could I have been with that one? Ten Hag was sacked in October and replaced by Ruben Amorim, who seems to be struggling with the squad he's inherited. I put Man City in second because I didn't think they'd be able to keep up that super high intensity football for a fifth season in a row, but I didn't expect them to drop off as much as they have done. I'm actually still going to stick by Arsenal winning the league. Liverpool are looking so good at the moment, but I have a feeling Arsenal are going to go on an incredible winning run now and gradually chip away at Liverpool's lead. Arne Slot is having a fantastic season, but I think Liverpool will have a blip around March, April time, and that's when Arteta's side will steal the lead and go from there. And what about Nottingham Forest? Who would have predicted that they'd be as high as second going into 2025? Certainly not me. In fact, well, you'll see in just a second. So my updated top four, Arsenal win the league with Liverpool second, and then it's really tough, but I'm going to go Chelsea third, Manchester City will still get fourth, and Nottingham Forest will slip to fifth. Fifth place might be enough to get into the Champions League this year, so that could still be an incredible achievement for Forest. I mean, they've already bettered their points tally for the whole of last season. Who did I relegate then? Well, I predicted that Southampton would be the best of the promoted sides and stay up, at the expense of Nottingham Forest. Yes, I put Forest back in the Championship. Then I had Ipswich to finish 19th and Leicester bottom, and I expected Leicester to have a points deduction, so that was my reason for putting them right at the bottom. So my updated bottom three, Southampton are already gone in my opinion. I don't think there's any way they stay up now. And unfortunately with Wolves starting to pick up, I can see a repeat of last season where all three of the promoted teams go straight back down. So I'm going to say Ipswich 19th with Leicester 18th. And I hope I'm wrong, as nobody wants to see them all drop back down. Let me know your predictions for the Premier League in the comments, and let's move on to the Championship. In the Championship, I put Leeds top with Burnley second, and to be honest, I'm not sure who wins the title, but I'm confident they'll be the top two, so I'm going to stick to that. I put Luton third though, with West Brom, Middlesbrough and Norwich in the playoff places, and then I said Luton would win the playoff final. Well, at the moment I'm correct with West Brom and Middlesbrough, but Norwich are 6 points off it, and Luton are in a relegation battle, so I can't see them winning the playoffs. I also said Sheffield United would finish outside the playoff places. I'm going to stick with West Brom and Middlesbrough, but I think Sunderland and Sheffield United will make up the playoffs now, so the current four will all stay there, and Sheffield United will win them. Norwich might still sneak into the playoff places, as might Blackburn or Watford, and if they do, I think it'll be Middlesbrough who will miss out. But on to my bottom three. And I relegated Blackburn, Plymouth and Oxford United. We know that Blackburn won't go down, they're flying at the moment, but for Plymouth and Oxford, it's still a strong possibility. Oxford United seem to be enjoying that new manager bounce with 3 wins in a row, carrying them into 18th and giving them a 7-point lead on the current bottom three, but they aren't safe yet. This is really tough. I think the Championship's relegation places are the hardest thing to predict out of England's top 4 leagues. I'm going to say that Plymouth won't recover, they're headed down, and joining them in League One will be Cardiff City and most likely Portsmouth. But ask me again in a month and I might have a totally different bottom three. What about League One? Unsurprisingly, I put Birmingham City top, but I had Bolton going up with them. And while they aren't far off the playoffs, I think it's highly unlikely they'll make up 16 points on the current top two. I put Huddersfield, Barnsley, Rotherham and Peterborough in the playoffs, with Huddersfield winning promotion, but Wrexham I put 7th, just outside. I also had Leaders Wycombe in 15th. I think the current top two are going up. Birmingham will eventually pull away and take the title, but I don't think Wrexham will catch Wycombe. They'll go up in second. The top two are flying. And as for the playoffs, I'm confident that Barnsley and Huddersfield will be there, but Peterborough and Rotherham are having dreadful seasons and are closer to the relegation zone. Wrexham will be in the playoffs. I think there's little doubt about that, but I fancy Stockport to grab the last playoff place in a really close fight, which would see Reading miss out. I'm going to say that Huddersfield Town will win the playoffs. As I initially predicted, they'll beat Wrexham in the final, and it's another season in League One for Ryan Reynolds. My bottom four were Cambridge, Shrewsbury, Burton and Crawley, and what can I say? They're the current bottom four, though not in the same order. And I don't really think that'll change. Bristol Rovers and Northampton will stay up in my opinion, so I'm sticking with my bottom four, though the order might be different like I said. And finally, League Two. My top three were Chesterfield, Doncaster and Port Vale, and I still think all three of them will get at least a playoff place, but I actually put Walsall 15th. They're absolutely flying, and with a 12-point lead in such a tight division, I don't think they throw this away from here. Walsall will win the League Two title, but I'm going to stick with Doncaster second. Port Vale have dropped off at an alarming rate, so I'm not sure they'll be in the top three now. And when I went to Vale Park to watch them play Crewe, they had the chance to go 6 points clear. And now look at them, they can't seem to win a game. Crewe looked like a decent side that day, so I'm going to put them in third place, but it could be as close as to be decided on goal difference. My playoffs were contested by MK Dons, Bradford, Gillingham and Carlisle, with Carlisle winning at Wembley, and that doesn't look likely now, does it? At the moment, I'm not massively confident that any of those four will finish in the playoff places. In fact, I'm going to change all of them. So Port Vale will be 4th, Notts County 5th, Chesterfield 6th and Wimbledon 7th, but who knows? League Two is just so close. As for the bottom two, I put Colchester 23rd and Morecambe bottom. And Colchester have a healthy lead over the relegation zone at the moment, but Morecambe are struggling. Who would have put Carlisle bottom at the beginning of January though? I still think Carlisle will stay up, and I still think Morecambe are going. And I have a feeling they'll be joined by Accrington Stanley, who have been on a terrible run of form lately, though they did beat Grimsby on New Year's Day. If not Accrington, then it'll be Harrogate Town or Swindon, but what do you think? In the National League, I think either Barnet or York will win the title and the other one will go up through the playoffs, so I think we'll see both of those teams in the Football League next season. But let me know your predictions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. I'll put the link to all of those previous prediction videos in the description under this video, so feel free to check those out, and thanks for watching.